I try to stop the horses that go round in my head, and I thought you were the one to understand me. You told me such life, but once again you took my hopes to fame. My soul's the same, my tears start flitting in the rain. Falling again, falling again.
Hopefully some people start jumping on. How y'all feeling this week, man? Everybody good?
Great.
Great?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. We were just talking earlier. How y'all feel about this this variant? What's happening with it?
Well, I will say, man, despite my feelings, man, this variant seems to be catching on and spreading, man. Numbers seem to be going up.
Yeah.
I'm fearing another lockdown.
I'm afraid of that too, Eric. You know, I just don't want it to happen to after homecoming. You know, homecoming is so close, but it's so far away. And the way this variant is acting, man, it's spreading quickly. It was a couple of weeks ago. I saw some of the numbers. It was 10% of the deaths that have been caused recently, and then within 3 weeks' time, it was at 26% of the deaths caused. I spoke to one of my wife's good friends, my good friend, Sharon Glass Mialis, who's a pharmacist at a hospital there in Suffolk, Virginia, and Norfolk area. And she said that the number of patients they're seeing starting to come back in is crazy.
Even with those that are being vaccinated, or is just cats?
She didn't say most of the people she's seeing are unvaccinated, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. I don't know.
It is, man.
A lot of other countries have already gone back into quarantine. So,
yeah, they're talking about shutting down the Olympics because of it too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Talking about shutting that down.
Yeah, it's wild. So I'm thinking, just think how we have gotten out, got a taste of
life.
Really the old, but got a little taste of going out. Now they're gonna pull the rug. Man, it's gonna be stressful.
It's gonna be very stressful, but I guess I tell you once again, people gonna save money from eating out. They're gonna save money from gas. There'll be a lot more home projects going up. People upgrading their house. Yeah, again, prices are going up on their houses. The value's going up on them. So it's beneficial in a lot of ways. People, as long as they don't, if we can stay on a health kick, we might not be able to go to the gym. But if we can push ups, sit ups, pull ups, walk, run, then we can lose some weight and get healthy too. So, and we spend more time with our loved ones. That's how I'm gonna have to look at it. I'm gonna try to be positive.
That's a good way, because
I am definitely tired of them. Tired of the masks. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah,
I'm tired of the masks. Oh, we got somebody speaking already. Hey, Miss Beach Phelps, I saw that you have ties to Williamston. And Windsor. Ah, that's my girl Lanita. Lanita, you know you from my high school. She from the land of the light skins.
I thought that was
Hosky. I don't even think they got dark skinned people in a Hosky. I think if you're there, you get banned. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of stuff going on. Eric, you was talking too about old Bill Cosby. How you feeling about him?
Oh, no, I was just saying, I don't know if we mentioned Bill getting out, but Bill got out of prison. I don't know. I always have a soft spot for Bill, man. I came up with Fat Albert.
Yeah.
I came up with, the Cosby Show and all of that, man. I'm kind of like Dave Chappelle, man. My blackness don't want to incriminate him. But I don't want to make fun of it. But
what's up, Keisha B? My girl.
Bill got out, so I was happy to hear Bill got out, man.
Yeah. Well, R. Kelly was probably sad, but it's all right.
That's another story.
He was probably sad. Well, y'all, we got
There's going to be so much to that, though. He's now going back trying to sue and all of that. Yeah. Because he was never supposed to be locked up, according to
the first place. Exactly.
That's what Bill got to be careful.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta leave well enough alone.
Leave it alone. I'm out. I'm free. I'm gonna stay out and free. They did me wrong, but I'm gonna accept that. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. That thing will start backfiring. Oh no, we didn't. We did this. Oh, we could have. Okay.
Yeah.
Find yourself back in that cell, bro.
Yeah, because I didn't hear nobody say Jeopardy was attached, so double Jeopardy was in effect. So,
what do y'all feel about him trying to go back on the road? He said he was
that's what he's trying to do there too.
Man, he better not. The women gonna attack him, man.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be some people that's gonna go support.
Because they will. They will.
See what he say. You know that Cat Williams gonna be here in Raleigh, Durham coming up in September.
For real?
We'll try to check him out.
If we get to go.
Right. I was going to say, if we make it.
Well, look, tonight we have a very special person with us. She's someone that I've known a very long time. She's a serial entrepreneur, always has been a go-getter, very good people. And without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself. And of course, we already know from Miss Lanita Wembley that she's from Williamston. So I'm gonna let her tell us a little bit about herself, and we'll start asking some questions and have some conversation. Y'all, please hold tight with us and text your friends and tell them to join us. Without further ado, Miss Beach Phelps.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, first of all, for the opportunity. I am grateful to be here on the front porch having discussion. As he said, my name is Deeneka Beach Phelps. I live currently in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, by way of Williamston, North Carolina, is where I was born and partially raised. I was a military brat. I am the mother of 4, 2 biological, 2 inherited. We're a blended family. I've been married to my husband for 13 years. As Joey said, I am a serial entrepreneur. I am currently the CEO and owner of It's Your Move, which is a behavioral health company here in Columbia, South Carolina. I also have partnerships in Texas. We're currently getting ready to get some things started in North Carolina. Super excited about that. I also have Deeneka Beach Phelps Incorporated, which is a consulting business where I help healthcare companies as well as any other industries develop internal systems and leaderships to take their business to the next level, and really assisting people in connecting the dots between purpose and prosperity. The other thing is Herbal Stasis. I am partnered with my 3 sons, which 2 are not my biological sons, but we know how important it is for us to begin to create generational wealth. So I created Herbal Stasis, which is a wellness line which contains CBD products, with my 3 sons. And then I also am the host of a radio show called I Am My Sister on WDRB, the voice of the community, and that's found on Sirius XM, the iHeartRadio.
Okay. Nice. Well, as I told y'all, Deede has a whole lot of stuff going on. So you mentioned creating generational wealth. We'll start there. We'll start with the CBD, and kind of work our way back to your mental health, because you've been doing mental health forever. So tell us a little something about just what I want you to do. For those who don't understand, people see CBD and they think, oh, I can't take it. It's marijuana. I'm going to get tested. Please let them know the difference between CBD, THC, the elements inside of marijuana, one that's medicinal, one that gets you high.
Right. So CBD and marijuana, of course, come from the same plant, but CBD does not contain the psychoactive components that marijuana does. So it does not get you high. And actually, your body creates CBD naturally. And that's what people don't know. Just some people bodies don't create enough to give them the effects that when they actually take the CBD or use the CBD, it gives them the effects that their body would normally create naturally. So your body has what's called an endocannabinoid system that varies everything from your eyes to your liver to your digestive system. All of those run off of the endocannabinoid system. So your body actually needs CBD. It craves it, and we don't, because we haven't been taught that, we've been taught so many other things. People automatically hear CBD, they think, oh, marijuana. If I go and I get tested at work, I'm going to show positive, and those things are not true. CBD does not contain THC. You have Delta 8, but Delta 8 only contains 0.03% of CBD. So you don't get those the really high effects from it. It does give you some of those same principles, such as the relaxation, helping you sleep and things like that. You just don't get all of that euphoria that you get with marijuana.
Okay. Well, that's one thing.
What about the munchies?
I was going to ask, what is Delta 8?
So there are different cannabinoids within the plant, and that's where you get your Delta 8, your Delta 9. Of course, we know Delta 9 is where marijuana is. And so Delta 8 is right under Delta 9. And it mimics a lot of what marijuana gives you without you testing positive for THC.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, like, we're not incriminating nobody on here. I don't know if anybody smokes marijuana or not, but that stuff the young kids smoking, don't do that. Don't do that. That stuff when we were coming along, 14, 15, 18, 22, 28, the THC levels were not as high.
Right.
It was more medicinal. Like when you see the jazz artists back in the day, they got the little euphoria, but it was heavily CBD. They had a higher percentage of THC.
You're right.
And then through time, with people doing hydroponics, blending plants and re-engineering and doing all that stuff, now you can get your hands on something and it can be almost no traces of CBD and be like an 80-90% THC.
Absolutely.
And so I call it organic crack.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking. Because there was a time, marijuana wasn't even addictive.
Right.
But I think it's addictive now because these kids
it is.
Without it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like you said, the hybrid types of marijuana now have components in them that are creating addiction. And so where we used to say, look at it and go, oh, it's a gateway drug, now it is that drug. Mm-hmm. And people find it very difficult to get off of marijuana. And, everybody, oh, it's from the earth, it's this, it's that. And it's all of those things, but it's much different than it used to be. And a lot of where it comes from now is not natural. A lot of what you get with marijuana now is not from the earth.
Yeah, they're
like
blending and
genetically engineered. Yeah.
Keisha said, are there any negative effects from CBD similar to the effects of nicotine?
It really depends on how, anything that you do can have a negative effect depending on the way you're using it. So with CBD, as long as you're using it the way it should be or the way that it is intended, you shouldn't have any negative side effects. I will say that with our line particularly, we don't do anything smokable in our line because I do, like you said, Joey, mental health and substance abuse. And so vaping is one of those things that people think, oh, it's no big deal. But there are a lot of side effects to vaping. So although I wanted to be able to offer the CBD products, I also wanted to make sure that we were doing it in a safe capacity.
So what products do you offer? I know you have, they're tinctures, you can get drops, you can get creams. I've used the cream before. I've actually used tinctures before. Mm-hmm. I kind of stopped using the tinctures because, and you can clarify this for me, at some point I didn't see it mixing with the hypertension medication I was taking, some of the things I was taking, so I kind of pulled back off of that. But I will say when I was taking the drops, I had a boost of energy, felt good, and those type of things. But just tell us the products that you have.
Yeah, so currently in our line we have a product called Be Gone, and that's this here. So what Be Gone is basically a joint cream, and this helps with muscle soreness, muscle aches. I have people that have stenosis, which is the when the joints in your back are fused together, and they're using this. They've used this product, and they've gotten more relief from this product than they have opioid products. And you're just basically taking it and putting it on you. And so we have the Be Gone in the cream, and then we actually have a roll-on that we do that people can travel with as well. And it's the same product, just in different consistencies. And this is a 4 ounce and this is an 8 ounce. And so I actually had someone the other day tell me that this product has actually changed their life. They're able to get out and do the things that they weren't able to do before. They're able to get on the floor with their kids again. So I love hearing those things because that's why we did this.
Okay.
We also have the Herbal Stasis honey. You can cook with this. You can use this in your teas. It does contain CBD, and it just helps with relaxation. I had someone that is taking it, and she said it's helping with her blood pressure because she's, being able to stay even keel versus that up and down. We also, like you said, Joey, have the tinctures. Our tinctures come in 1,000 milligrams, 3,000, and 6,000. And so I tell people, you know what your tolerance is with things. I always suggest that when they start, they take a quarter of a dropper and then work their way up, just so you can see how it works for you. If you have a high tolerance, I always tell them to start with the 3,000 and then work their way up to the 6,000. The tincture actually comes in a natural flavor, and then it comes in apple and mango as well.
Okay.
We also have something called Follicle Frenzy. So this is our beard oil. And so it's a 2-step process with this. This is our face wash. So it's called Fresh Face. And then this is Follicle Frenzy, the beard oil. So this helps with the growth of your beard. My son has actually been using it, and he's gotten great results. His beard was coming in, and you've seen DJ Joey. His beard was coming in, but he was having spots where it wasn't growing. And so he started using this, and he's gotten great results from it.
I might have to try some of that.
I see Eric rubbing his beard like he
I need to get a little bit of that, tighten it up a little bit.
I'm follically challenged on my face.
Nah, you're not really challenged, man. Remember when we graduated college, I had no facial hair whatsoever.
You'll be both.
None whatsoever. Baby face.
Wow. Yeah, that's the way DJ was for a while. So,
are there other applications for CBD other than, let's say, back pain, lowering blood pressure, and hair growth?
Insomnia. It works with insomnia. I have a lot of people who have high anxiety. And you know what I forgot to show you, though? We actually have CBD gummies. And I'm going to see if I can grab some of those. But we do have gummies as well. And that's what a lot of people purchase. We get a lot of purchase from the gummies because they do help with relaxation, with anxiety, with depression. And so I tell people take a half of one, take a quarter of one, because if you're not used to it, it can be strong. But it just helps mellow you out. And that is really what people are looking for. With anxiety, like you said, pandemic stuff going on, people are looking for a way to relax. A lot of people are having problems with sleep. And so they are using our products to help them with that.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure that when this is over, that you give us the website, so on and so forth, so that I can put that up on the page.
Absolutely.
And can take a look at that at their leisure. Now,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what is the name of your product line?
Herbal Stasis.
Herbal Stasis.
Yes. So the name came from, I'll tell you a little bit about the name. When we were looking at the different products, we know that it comes from the ground. So those things that are coming from the earth are really herbal. And we know that homeostasis is the state of our body being in complete balance. And so the thought was, this is a product that literally brings your body back into balance. It literally takes that endocannabinoid system, and where you have deficiencies, it brings it back into that state of balance, and you're able to move forward, work efficiently. And that's one of the things that I had someone tell me, I don't feel like I have to go have all of this sleep, and they were having depression is really what I think it was, without a name. But they're able to just go through their everyday life and handle things, and it doesn't throw them off kilt. That pressures come, but it's like, okay, it's not as bad as it would have been if I wasn't taking my CBD products. They kind of handle it and move on, as opposed to, oh my God, this is life or death or whatever. So those are some of the effects that people have told me that they've gotten from it.
If I may interject, what was your why? What was that aha moment that led you to wanting to create Herbal Stasis?
There were a couple of whys. I was diagnosed with lupus probably about 6 years ago now. And so one of the things that I saw, I was a high school athlete, collegiate athlete, did all sorts of things and never slowed down. Like Joey said, I was always at it. I was always at it and in something. And I had tried, other products here and there because I didn't want to keep putting, taking ibuprofen, Tylenol, all of that stuff. Those things affect your body, your liver. And of course, we know the opioid epidemic. And so to continue, dabbling with taking pain pills, and then you got to take more because what you took, what you've been taking isn't working. I said, I've got to find something that's going to work with my body, that I don't feel hungover in the morning after taking it. But even if I don't take something internally, I can put something on my body. It gives me relief, and it lasts for a period of time. And then the other reason was, as I said, just creating generational wealth. The 3 young men that are working with me, as I said, are like my son, my biological son, and my 2 adopted sons. And they are college graduates. They are very intelligent. And I wanted them to be able to experience life while they were young. A lot of times when we begin to make money, we're well into our 30s and we've got children and we've got all of that going on, responsibilities. So we don't really get a chance to live. And that's one of the things that I really wanted them to experience, was life.
Get that time back. It's the one thing we cannot get back once it's gone.
Absolutely.
You're right.
The one thing we can never get back. So are there any other products that you have in the future that Herbal Stasis will be creating or coming out with?
Yes, we've got a tea coming. We've got a pet tincture coming. We also have a diffuser coming, which the diffuser will basically, people will be able to use with insomnia. They'll be able to pair it with white noise, and it will just give off the mist in the air to help them kind of relax and fall asleep. And which means they're just ingesting it as opposed to having to, they're breathing it in as opposed to having to take it, orally.
Gotcha. Yeah,
are there any long-term effects from CBD? And
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people out there suffer with insomnia. They don't sleep well. I was actually going through a period of that, but mine I think was more due to grieving. So I might have to get some of that too, because I can't seem to go to sleep at some nights, and I always wake up around 3:00, no matter what. Yeah, even if I go to bed at 1:30, 2:00, I'm up at 3, and I'm up for at least an hour and some change before I go back to sleep. So
I understand.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your mental health experience and the business that business that you're running, and then let us know how is CBD business connecting with your mental health business, if it is at all, and how you can assist those that are having some mental health issues with CBD.
Right. So I've been doing mental health well over 15 years now. I got into the business because I went into the school system, and there was so much going on. I was teaching exceptional children, and there was so much that was going on with them that couldn't be addressed within the school system. I moved to the position of the behavior coach, and
let me cut you off real quick.
Joy
Douglas says she wants that diffuser, that inhaler. You got to have it. Joy, stay focused on my page and on the Front Porch Discussions page. we'll be putting that information up so you can figure out how to get it. All right. All right.
So I became the behavior coach, and it was still so many things that was happening with the kids that I couldn't address. It was everything from, the parents not being where they were supposed to be, or there were behaviors going on. I'll give you an example. I had a young man that he would come into my classroom, and the teachers all wondered how I could get him to do what I needed him to do. Well, what they didn't know was this young man was leaving school and going to work. And some nights he was working until 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Then he was coming to school, and he was doing that because he was taking care of his siblings because his mother would disappear. And so when that would happen, he wanted to be able to help take care of them, whether she was there or not. Well, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't taken the time to sit down and talk with him, which sometimes in the education system, it doesn't give you that time to really get to know your students. And so from that, I was like, okay, my hands keep getting tied. And so that's when I started looking around and started working with a behavioral health company in Williamston. And I worked with that company for about 4 years. And the opportunity to come to South Carolina came, and I took it.
Yeah. Well, I commend you for doing that as an educator and finding out what was going on with the child, because a lot of people just kind of wash their hands of the children. They kind of want to punish them. They don't want to take the time to talk to students.
Or
now, you
leave
have
them
those
as
students,
bad kids.
Yeah, you gonna have those students that are just bad. That's just
Right.
what they are. That's what they do. But a lot of times it's stuff behind that, and I try to encourage my teachers when he's acting up or she is acting up, pull him to the side, let him be late to the next class, give him a note, just talk to him like, what's going on with you? Really, really talk to me. And it's all about relationship building. If you build those relationships, that kid is the kid that's acting out. Once they see you have an interest in them and you start talking to them and you share your human side with them, not the teacher.
Right.
Start saying, hey, I made some F's too. I did that too. And you can overcome that. And I wouldn't want to see you do or make the mistakes that I made and all those type things. They'll come around and you'll see kids start to soar. And then you'll have a better understanding. Like the kid you had, hey, if he's falling asleep, you know why now. Like, look, got 2 things we got to do. You got to get your work done. You got to get some rest. So if you can do my work, I don't care when it gets done, I'll let you rest some.
I would let him sleep the first hour he came into the class. I would just let him go over in the corner. He would get him an hour in, and he would get up, and I wouldn't have any problems out of him.
Yeah.
He'd get that nap, and he was good to go. And the other teachers, of course, saw, the turn around as well, because he was awake in their class as opposed to he trying to catch naps where he can. Yeah. And I tell my clinicians all the time, it's important for us to deal with the entire family as a whole, because although we see the behaviors are the response to what's already going on at home. And if we don't address what's going on at home, 9 times out of 10, these kids are either imitating what they've seen at home, or the behavior is a result of things going on at home. Exactly. And so we've got to address the whole person, which means their family as well. And so part of, like I said, with Herbal Stasis, the two are really connected, because one of the things that I pride myself on is making sure that my doctors and nurse practitioners are staying away from habit forming substances as much as possible, because we know the effects. Especially that the one that begins with an X, that's Xanax. People are addicted to it, and although opioids are terrible, benzodiazepines are worse, and they take longer to get out of your system. And one of the things that a lot of the things that my older clients were sharing was the fact that when they would get up in the morning after taking Xanax, they felt hungover. They couldn't function properly for the next day or so. And then they started feeling that urge and need to take it on a regular basis because their body was craving it.
Crave for it. Yeah.
Right. And the same thing happens with kids with ADHD. And so I have parents now that are using the gummies with their children for the ADHD as opposed to giving them the different drugs that are out there now.
How's that going?
It's going great.
Great results.
Yep, they're able to concentrate just like if they were, because what ADHD basically, it is that person that can't pay attention, but it's because that there are so many stimuli in the environment, and that person is getting fired at all at one time. So imagine that all of your senses are going off at one time. So sitting still is difficult for them because they're trying to address everything that's going on. So that's where the scatterbrainness comes from, because it seems like they can't focus on one thing at a time because they're absorbing everything. Well, the gummies allows that system to slow down. And that's what the medication does. It just slows them down. And so you actually see some kids who have this almost comatose state with being on some of the medication. And it's because it's just completely slowed them down. So, I'll tell parents, give them half of a quarter and just try it out till you get that happy medium, which always doesn't happen with medication because you're supposed to take it as prescribed. So if you vary the way you're taking it, then you're going to get talked by your doctor. And let's just be honest, all of this stuff is controlled substances.
Yep. And it's money driven.
Absolutely.
Money driven.
Absolutely.
That leads to my question as far as the age restriction. But I heard you say you give it to kids. But is there like an age restriction, like how young you would suggest
with CBD?
Yes.
The youngest I have had was 7.
Okay.
And I say that because on the clinical side, you're not supposed to give someone a diagnosis of ADHD before 7 years old, because it's really the behaviors that they're putting out are really age appropriate behaviors before 7.
Gotcha. Okay.
What about grown-ups?
So was that like
they got ADHD?
Is that like one gummy or a couple of gummies?
You said, is there one gummy or a couple of gummies? We have different flavors. We have different flavors.
Oh no, I was saying like in terms of like how many are they taking? Is that like one gummy? You get like
they actually will take a gummy and cut it in half and cut it in half again. Some just take a fourth, some take a half. I do have people who will take a whole gummy. That can be a lot because it does relax you. It does, give you some of those same effects that you do get from marijuana. So I tell people it's a trial and error, but I do tell them to take less and add to versus going high and then trying to break your way back down.
Yeah.
So, something you mentioned earlier, you talked about having a tolerance to CBD, and maybe starting at a lower level and kind of working your way up. What does intolerance to CBD look like?
Well, I would tell you, you don't really develop a tolerance for CBD. That's the difference between CBD and opioids, or CBD and benzos. Benzos and opioids don't occur naturally in your body. So that's like putting a foreign substance in your body, and it attaches itself to your opioid receptors. And so what happens is when those when you're not putting the opioids in your body, your opioid receptors begin to crave the opioids, and it begins to want more and more and more. So then when your body gets used to you taking this dose, your body then begins to crave more. CBD, all it does is to bring your body into balance because it's already naturally occurring within your body.
Cool. Now with the mental health, do you have, I know you probably hold sessions one-on-one with families or with children or whoever the patient might be, but do you have homes where kids are residents, where kids are staying and things like that?
We're working on some of that now. In North Carolina, we know group homes were really big at one point, and then they went away. And they're coming back again, but they're coming back, of course, with restrictions. Yeah. with every business, when it becomes lucrative, people are always taking a look at it. And so mental health is one of those businesses that if you're not purposed to do this, it will wear you out very quickly, because some of the clients can be needy because they don't know what else to do at this point. So it's like you've got to help them get back to where they're self-sufficient. So it takes time and it doesn't happen overnight. And so I tell people all the time, I have clinicians that I come into contact with, and I just encourage them, if this isn't something that you feel like God has placed in you or purposed in you, take a look at some other areas. Not saying that you can't do counseling, but there may be another aspect to mental health that you can do.
Okay. Anybody else got a question before I go?
Yeah, do you do business in mental health under Herbal Stasis also, or is it a different name?
It's Your Move is my mental health business.
Your Move.
It's Your Move.
It's Your Move.
It's Your Move. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So they're separate entities.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Separate entities. Now, I'm gonna get back to the CBD. How did this CBD movement even come about? Of course, we know people always were smoking marijuana,
Right.
but it just seemed like all of a sudden you started hearing CBD, 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 and like I said, that confused a lot of people because it's coming from this plant. I'm gonna get high.
Right.
So
right.
When did that movement start? Because in the same time there was a hemp movement where
Right.
they started taking the plant and noticing that, hey, it's the fibers, you can make clothing, you can do all this other stuff with this plant.
Right.
So talk to us about that.
Oh man, with the glass water.
Yeah.
Look, you on the front porch for real, bro. That's some real front porch mess right there, man. Your grandmama taught you that, right?
Yeah.
And I've been trying to do it on the slide tip.
Oh yeah,
nah, man. This is the front porch. We're gonna be real with everything.
Well, Joey, I'll tell you, CBD actually emerged. There was a mother about 5 years ago. Her child was suffering from epilepsy, and they were doing CAT scans, all types of things. She had taken all types of medicine to try to control the epilepsy, but nothing was working. So mom herself was taking CBD oil, and she just decided, I'm going to try this because this is, nothing else is working. So I can't lose. And she actually started giving the CBD oil to her daughter, and it actually regulated her daughter's system, and she stopped having the seizures. From there, it just kind of, in the last 5 years, and especially the last 2 years, it has become big where people are really recognizing the endocannabinoid system. A lot of people didn't even know that system actually was present in your body because we don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that tonight. I didn't even know that myself. So thanks for that information.
Hey, and Eric is a scientist. He's a scientist. So, Eric, you can look that up and educate us some more on that system, man. All right. So now, if I go into a store to get some CBD, hopefully I'll be getting it from Herbal Stasis, so I know what I'm getting.
Right.
But if I go somewhere and I'm getting tinctures and I mess around and I get the THC tinctures, and that's a bad situation. So what do I need to look for when I go to these places?
Great
Talking
question.
about CBD, is there a stamp of approval? Is there a label or something that is regulated? How's that done?
It is. So on the federal level, they are just starting to get to where it's being seen as legal, but the FDA has approved it. With our products, we have a certificate of authenticity, and we actually create our products ourselves. I work with my cousin, and she has a warehouse in Gastonia, and we work together creating products. She was an esthetician. So, and me having done physical therapy, it just works. But when you're looking at the products where people fall short or are not really clear, you may see a product that says 300 milligrams of CBD. Well, that doesn't mean that product actually contains the entire 300 milligrams. It means that product contains up to 300 milligrams.
Okay.
And that 300 milligrams is actually broken down within the contents of the product.
Okay. So now 300 milligrams is not a true 300 milligrams.
Right.
It's a breakdown of some other components up to 300 milligrams.
Correct.
Right. So you just educated me on that because I was thinking when you saw that 600 milligrams, you're getting 600 milligrams, you're getting 300 milligrams of pure CBD.
And
Now,
what I will tell you is this: with our products, what we have on the bottle is what you're getting in the product. And
Gotcha.
some of our products, we actually found that with our Be Gone, the milligrams of CBD, it's 5,000 milligrams of CBD in the Be Gone product. And it's actually a little more than that. When we when the lab came back, because there are a lot of regulations, a lot of things that we go through, including a third-party laboratory, test our products to be able to say, yes, what they've said is in the products is actually there.
I like that. I like that. Eric, you got anything?
No, I'm trying to wonder if this is my feed or if it's somebody else's feed. I seem to be like freezing on this end.
Nah, you good. We don't see you freezing.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
We talked about.
I thought it was my drink that I'm having.
It was making you freeze.
Yeah.
You got no THC in that drink, do you?
I know it was something. So with the herbal stasis.
Yes.
That's right, herbal stasis.
Yes.
So the herbal stasis, are you able to like I don't want to say franchise it, but are other people able to distribute your product, or do you just have a central distribution for your product?
Right now, we have central distribution. That is something that I'm currently working on, that we can have other distributors. We do have the ability to do something called white labeling, which means that, if you were someone who wanted to start your own line, I would work with you, get you all your business stuff done, and then you could white label. Which basically means you would take our products and put your name on it.
Is that real expensive?
It's not expensive. I mean, the big thing is actually purchasing the products.
Okay.
Do you think the legalization of marijuana will hurt or help CBD products?
It's going to help because you still have a lot of people who don't know what it is. And especially, let me put this in the right verbiage, church folks, they look at it and go, oh my gosh, no, that's marijuana, and that's not what it is. And so that's part of the reason why these type of things, having these discussions are so important, because people who could really use the products are missing out because they're not clear on what it is. I think that you're going to still have some pushback regardless with marijuana becoming legal. And what happens with marijuana becoming legal is it then switches hands, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When in DC, in order to be able to open a cannabis shop up in DC, you've got to be able to show $50,000 in liquid assets. There are very few African American people who have $50,000 sitting in the bank, just sitting. So it will, when it becomes legal, it's going to change hands. It is not going to be for your everyday hustler that is going to then be able to sell marijuana legally. That's not how that's going to go.
You see that already.
So you would say your biggest challenge is just the education of trying to get people to understand what CBD is.
And I tell people this now. A lot of people are doing different things with edibles and things like that. I always caution people simply because when you have someone creating something and nobody's regulating it, you don't know what's in it. You don't know how much. You don't know any of that. So, and then people are taking a cookie where with a cookie you would eat the whole cookie. If you are doing
Don't do
you
it.
don't eat a whole cookie of an edible.
You better not do that. You
Right.
better not.
And so people are not clear on things like that. And so I often caution people, yeah, that sounds like a good plan, but you don't know what's in there.
Yeah,
Right.
I had a
And you don't
friend.
know how much is in there because
I had a
Right.
I
I
ain't
had a
gonna lie.
friend that
My first bout with edibles, I had one. I think it was a brownie. I ate a half of one and didn't know how long it was supposed to take the kick in. So then I ate the other half, and about 15 minutes later, the whole floor just tilted to the side, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And was basically high from the rest of the night. And I was like, "Wow, see, I didn't even know how much. You don't know how much weed is in there to even regulate it yourself."
I have
Right.
a friend. I have a friend that's never done any marijuana, smoked it, anything like that. No edibles, no anything. He heard a guy one night talking about some cookies, and he was selling cookies. You know, like you buy cookies from fundraisers and everywhere else, and everybody that was around was talking about how good this guy's cookies were. So he decided, hey man, let me get some of those chocolate chips. He got a couple of them. Said he went home and he threw the cookie in his mouth. Oh, this is a nasty cookie. Like, why was everybody thinking it was so great? He he doesn't remember going to sleep, and he slept forever. He slept forever. So y'all be careful with those edibles out there. I've heard all kind of crazy stories about them. People taking them. Oh, it's not making me high, you know.
Right.
But if you do something like an edible, I did some research. It's gonna take it about 20 to 30 minutes at minimum before it sets in and kind of takes off.
Right, because you're talking about your digestive
Digestive
system.
system. Yeah, and
Right.
then once it gets down in there, then you might be fine like talking like we're talking now, and then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
smack, and it's
Right.
over with, man. It's over with.
So I had my husband bring me these really quick. These are the gummies. So they're called garden gummies because they have a couple of different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I had a young lady say, I had to tell myself to stop eating them. They were good. I said, yeah, I'm glad you did.
She was gonna be so relaxed, she wasn't gonna move for
My goodness. Yes. But, they come in this container and then we're getting ready to do a larger quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's 10 in here, so they're 30 milligrams a piece. It tells you on the front it's Delta 8, so it does have a little THC in it, but it doesn't show up on a urine screen.
Gotcha. Well, that changing of hands that you was talking about, when my wife was going through her breast cancer bout, I was doing a lot of reading about CBD and how it could assist. So I decided to go to Wilmington with my line brother. He lives in Wilmington. He took me to a dispensary, and when we got there, just going to buy some CBD, and we go in there, and the procedure was you got to sign in, you got to show your
Mm-hmm.
driver's license, you got to do all this stuff. That's when I first realized, oh, they setting up for the real deal later, because they're already going through the procedures as a dispensary, the way you have to come in, the way you move around, the cameras, everything. They're already setting up for when North Carolina gives the stamp that they can go and they're gonna switch. They might keep doing CBD, but they're gonna have some other products in there as well.
Oh
You know,
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Definitely. And other states that are already legalized, the crazy part is they do delivery in those states too.
yeah.
So they will actually deliver like your Uber Eats and all of that stuff. They will deliver it to wherever you are.
Yeah, you see all these people posting on Instagram and stuff, all these different things like Apple Jacks and Runts, and I never knew there was so many different strands of marijuana out there. When we grow up, people just say they getting a bag of weed. It was just a bag of weed.
Right.
You had names like Acapulco Gold, and then it got to the Chronic and the Buddha
Mm-hmm.
Bless and all that stuff. Now they got all kind of. This is vanilla, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
blueberry muffin.
And the cookies and cream and
Yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
They
the
got
lemon
so much.
drop and
Yeah, those that
yeah,
smoking marijuana now, they are gladiators. I don't know what they are doing because you smoking all kind of stuff, man, and it's like I said, it's engineered. It's natural because it came from the ground, but it's not natural in the sense of what you're smoking because it's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're mixing all types of stuff in it, and it's dangerous because your hustler who thinks his product it doesn't have enough in it begins to do things like spraying. I've had a couple of my clients who came in, and we had to send them into rehab, and they had gotten a hold of some marijuana that had been sprayed. So basically, the person that sold it to them took it. It was already potent, and they sprayed some cleaner on it to make it even stronger. So when you smoke that,
Are you serious?
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah, man.
absolutely.
They
Hold
got
up.
they got this thing out. You
Hold
know,
up. When
I
did
was, I was a big Cypress Hill fan,
wait?
or I am a big Cypress Hill fan, and those guys smoke all the time. So I was watching Be Real's
Damn.
Instagram, and he had something up there because he's always posting. They call himself Dr. Feelgood or whatever, Green
Mhm.
Dot something. And they had a moon rock and a sun rock, which was actually like a bud with all this other stuff on it, and I don't know. And they will break. You could break it open, and it had like a jelly type effect to it. And then I said, let me Google this. The sun rock, or was it the moon rock, was like 87% THC, and the sun rock was like 98% THC.
God,
I was
dog.
like, that is natural crack. What are they doing? This is crazy.
Yeah, you're going from relaxation to out your mind.
Yeah.
But so yeah, when you say cleaner, like is that like Clorox? Like what kind of cleaner is
Like
that?
your everyday, it was, I believe, when they finally, the lab finally broke it down, it was like a glass cleaner.
Glass cleaner.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all the smokers is watching. Y'all be careful. All
Yeah.
y'all smokers, y'all be careful because y'all don't know what
Glass
y'all doing,
cleaner.
man.
That's
So
kind of like how Love Boat started in DC.
yeah,
Oh
we had
yeah,
I didn't heard of that. The embalming fluid.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
embalming
boat.
fluid
Yeah.
with
Yeah, they
Yeah.
call
Not
they call that
clean.
boat that butt naked. If you ever watched Friday and you saw what was
Smoking.
Smokey, and he was in that chicken coop,
Mm-hmm.
that's that Love Boat.
Yeah,
Mm.
I seen
absolutely.
cats on that boat, and I'm like, what in the world is he doing?
Well, they've got all kinds of stuff out now.
Hmm.
That the one of the newer ones that is now becoming really prevalent is that flocka, and that's
Wow.
not marijuana, but it's a drug nonetheless, and
It's
it's
synthetic, isn't it?
it's dangerous.
They were doing that in Florida. I kept seeing that on the news and stuff. They were doing that a lot, and people were passing out and just dying. And
Zombie like it's dangerous.
mm.
Wow.
So now, on the mental health side, I know with the mental health side, you also do substance abuse. Do you see people on these things on Flocka and all this type of stuff? They come to you.
These substances are becoming more prevalent
Mm-hmm.
because people are looking for band-aids to they're trying to put a band-aid on a gaping wound instead of addressing the issue, instead of addressing the grief, instead of addressing the depression, the anxiety. They're just trying to quiet it. Especially individuals that have any type of psychosis going on, like schizophrenia or bipolar. They do a lot of they will start to do a lot of different drugs just because they're trying to quiet what's going on in their head.
Well, I'm not.
So we do.
I'm not a drug user or abuser, but you said something just then. You said grief.
Right.
I won't be getting addicted to these cigars, will I? I'm just saying, because that's something I'll be addicted to. Because and I'm joking, but of course, it's only been 2 years, so I'm still in a state of, at some level of grief.
Mm-hmm.
Start my therapy back next week, but I like cigars. They relax me. The time I don't have to have a drink with them. I'm drinking water with mine, but
Poor thing.
I ain't trying to get addicted.
Well, and this is what I tell people who are experiencing grief, because like right after Step passed, my grandmother passed not too long after she did, and of course, Joey, you guys have been like family, so that thing hit us like boom, 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 and
Hit me like that too.
I was talking the other night, and I was like, I'm just so emotional, and I don't even know what's going on, and then I thought, yeah, you know what's going on. And so it's addressing it. Grief is something that you can't put a number on. You can't put a time frame on.
Right.
We all experience grief and deal with it in our own ways. Right. And so I can't tell you how to grieve no more than you can tell me how to grieve. So I always remind people of that and let people know I can't tell you how to do it, but I will tell you to do it. Because if you don't, you're going to feel the effects of it. If you don't get it out, if you don't talk to someone about what's going on, you're going to start feeling it because you're going to start seeing it in other areas. Unfortunately, with mental health, what happens is when we stuff, it starts to come out physically in other places. Those people who, 1 minute they're here and the next minute they're here, or, they're good and then they explode just like that. Those are mental health issues that people haven't dealt with. So,
well, like when Steph passed, that was one thing I tried to make sure I didn't do. Soon as she was going into her stages, I just wouldn't drink any alcohol because I didn't want to try to hide it, mask it, or use that as an aid because I didn't want it to become a problem. So I didn't drink any alcohol, period. I just
that was smart. A lot of people don't do that. They do the opposite. So, and that's where the addictions come into play.
Yeah, I've never been addicted. I'm not an alcoholic, anything like that, and I didn't want to be one. So, first thing I did is all my little bottles and stuff, putting them somewhere, y'all. Take them out of here. I don't want to have a drink. If y'all want to have a drink, that's fine. I'm not drinking anything because I don't want to have anything that I start feeling like I need to depend on it.
Right. And Joey, I will tell you this. Addictions are most of the time co-occurring. 99% of the time, they're what we call co-occurring, which means there's something else going on underneath, and the addiction is the blanket or the mask for what's actually going on.
Okay. Okay.
Well, on a lighter note, I will say, after I killed that first fly, I've seen no more.
Use him as an example, huh?
That's right.
Hey, y'all been using that one a lot, bro. I see the duct tape down there.
Man, listen.
What? That's duct tape is a black man's tool.
Yes, sir.
Black man's gorilla glue.
Anything with duct tape.
Yes, that look like it came from the ancestors.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been around for a minute.
That's the one with the wire twist to it. It's got the wire. Boy, hey, you got that from grandma, man.
I did. I got
that from grandma, man.
From the bowels of James City, North Carolina.
Yeah, she sat on the porch eating watermelon and talking to her girlfriend, rocking and smacking flies.
Yes,
some good watermelon.
Many hours. Y'all have any more questions for Miss Beach Phelps?
I've been thoroughly educated. God knows I have. So awesome. I'm good. Oh, I do want to know this though. How are you going to, I guess, combat getting the message out to others? How are you going to? What's the next step as far as just promoting CBD and just getting that message of the differences out?
Staying on different platforms. The thing about what we do, it doesn't have a race. It doesn't have a socioeconomic class. It doesn't have an ethnicity. This is something that benefits everyone. There are certain products out there that benefit African Americans more than Caucasians. This is not one of those products. So just getting the message out there as much as we can. And, that's part of the reason I bought the guys in too. Because although, I am who I am, I can talk to people my age, but they can also reach individuals their age as well.
Cool. I had a question. You mentioned prosperity. So what does prosperity look like for Herbal
Herbostasis.
Stasis. Homeostasis. I always think of homeostasis. You make
Right.
it good. So, what does prosperity look like? Is it a monetary thing, or is it in the number of people you help?
I think the money will come. When you're in purpose, the money is the part, that's the goodies. You know, if you are truly in purpose and you stay in that place, then it's gonna come. So it is being truly being able to see people live a fulfilled life. That there's this true balance with their body, with their internal body as well as their external body. That's the prosperity for me. Seeing people whole emotionally, physically, and especially spiritually.
Wonderful.
That's right.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Eugenia Jones, my cousin Gina, said this is an excellent discussion. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
And then like some biblical, like your purpose will provide for you in that biblical or scripture or something like that?
Your gift will make room for you.
Okay.
Yes,
Boom.
one thing is when you figure out what that gift is, it is up to you to give that gift away. It's not yours to keep and hold. You to share that gift, and you will be prosperous. So,
Yep.
I enjoyed this discussion as well. It was very educational. Um, Shout out your Herbal Stasis website, everything else real quick. Those of y'all that's listening, get a pen and paper. We will put it up later. She will text me, and I'll put it on my page and on the Front Porch Discussions page and on Instagram on our pages. But for right now, just go ahead and get that information to everybody so they know how to get with you.
Okay, it's herbalstasis.com. It's HERBALSTASIS.com.
Okay.
And then, of course, It's Your Move is the website is actually ITSURMOVE.net.
Okay.
And
Now,
Deeneka Beach Phelps.com is my name.com. So,
do you plan to ever open a Herbal Stasis store? That's the one last thing I got to ask. Do you plan to have a storefront, or is it going to all be e-commerce like it is right now?
eventually, we will look to open a store and franchise.
Okay. Okay. So those of you all that out there that are entrepreneurs, want to get into some business, you heard her say she can white label the products for you so you can purchase the products, put your own label and name on it, sell the products just like she's doing. And then, once she starts doing the franchising with the stores, you're already plugged in, and hopefully you can take that partnership and put one in your town or whatever you like to do and move from there. So all of you all that have some pains and aches, if you haven't tried the CBD yet, try the CBD.
Absolutely.
Try the CBD. I would also say pair that with some acupuncture and cupping and things of that sort. I believe in the acupuncture. It's helped me out a lot as far as my plantar fasciitis and things of that sort. So,
you got anxiety. That's for you too.
Say what now?
I said if you got anxiety, it's for you too.
Anxiety, insomnia, any type of aches, pains, depression. It helps with a number of things. Kidney regulation, digestion. If you're having trouble, definitely will increase your appetite. If that's something that you need, it does help tremendously with cancer patients. My cousin created something, she and I laugh about it, but she created something called the Snatch Pack. And so the young ladies who are going to get the BBLs, the tincture and the cream work wonderfully with that stuff. And it helps to reduce the bruising.
Okay. We had somebody, the lady from the Valley of the Light Skins, Miss Lanita Wimberly, said she's interested in white labeling. Okay. I get that information to you, Lanita. We'll make sure you get some information. All right. Well, y'all, I think that's going to be it for this one. As always, everybody, please have a very good weekend. Be safe. Support Black business. We always say that. Make sure you support these Black businesses. We'd like for you to get your CBD from Miss Beach Phelps. But if there's somebody else, any Black businesses, please support them. And if you got any mental health issues and things going on like that, I'm sure she can do some stuff virtually and whatnot. So we'll be putting that information up as well. to get you some help or get some loved one or somebody that you know some help. And we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you
Oh,
for
Yeah,
having me.
appreciate you
and
coming by.
I keep having to train myself to say Deeneka because we call her Deede. We call her
Dee
Deede.
is fine. Dee is fine.
Coming by, joining us.
I didn't want to put that out there. You know, I didn't know how you felt about that.
Co-host. What Janai? I co-host Janai out here today.
Janai's not with us tonight because Janai is in Fort Lauderdale. She
Okay.
and
Shout out to the co-host.
her girlfriends are having a great time doing some self love, self care, girls weekend, getting stress free. You know, when they get back, they need some CBD too, so they can relax and go to sleep. You know,
All right.
y'all have a good one, everybody. Be safe. We'll
Peace.
talk to y'all later.
For the show. Get the